What's the Gen Z heart? Is it this or have we moved on? Hey, welcome to my video. If you're from my Instagram, I love you. And if you're not from my Instagram, love you all the same. Welcome to my 5-month Invisalign update. Now, this is going to be a really special one because I have just officially finished my first set of 20 trays. And while I do have another set to go, I want to talk to you today about the things that I found the most surprising within these first 5 months. Now, if you want a full play-by-play, if you want to get the whole tea, then I suggest that you catch up on this series right here because I do go into way more detail and depth about everything. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to watch this one, then that's completely fine. So let's get started. So first of all, we have a orthodontist update because I was at their office yesterday and this is what happened. So first, a little bit of backstory. When I did start this journey, they did tell me that I need to be on the moderate dental plan. I think that's always something for you to keep in the back of your mind. I think that's pretty relevant information. And for that plan, they said that they almost always do 2 sets of 20 aligners a set for pretty much everyone. And they also informed me that that's what they would do to me probably as well. Now, I do have the option to go in for a 3rd set of another 20 aligners if need be. But even back then, they told me that they don't think that's going to be necessary for me. And when I saw them yesterday and went to their office, they confirmed that sentiment. Now, obviously, that's not set in stone. We will have to revisit that once we finished with the 2nd set of aligners because, you know, maybe if things don't go to plan, I will need that 3rd one, but that's not something that I'm worried about at all. So what we did yesterday was basically they looked me over. They did take a note of, and I also did let them know that one of my bottom teeth seems to be lagging just a little bit. Like everybody else is pulling their weight, doing their work. This one is a little bit sleepy. And what I mean by that is that it's just not making the movements that it needed to make by now. That's my little quirky way of saying that, okay? But they did tell me not to worry. Within this 2nd set, they're pretty sure that that's gonna fix itself and that tooth is gonna get right back on track. And they also took a scan of my teeth currently and sent me home. Now, the aligner that I'm wearing in my mouth right now is the number 20, and I will wear this one for about 2 to 3 more weeks until they create this other set of aligners, which they will do based on the scan that they did on me yesterday. So until then, I still have to keep wearing this one, still have to keep wearing it about 22 hours a day. That also means that I have to take extra good care of it because I don't want it to get misshapen in any way, shape, or form. But I will do my best to do that, and I will let you know in the next update how that goes. But now on to what we're really making this video about, some of the most surprising things to me in these 5 months while wearing my aligners. And I would say the number one thing that I'm most surprised about is exactly how much your teeth can shift and move in just a short amount of time. Because in my opinion, 5 months really isn't even that long, and subjectively, it also flew by for me. So I'm really surprised how different my teeth look already. And with saying that, if you are somebody who is gonna go through this process or is currently going through it, I do have some tips. I was told to take a lot of pictures, and I would have to agree with that, and I did take a lot of pictures. However, for some reason, I took a lot of like close-up pictures of just my teeth. And when I look back at those, you know, I do see how much the teeth have shifted. However, I can't really from the super close-up pictures tell how much of an impact your teeth have on your whole face and how much different this whole package looks pretty much when your teeth have shifted. So one of my little tips would probably be, yes, take multiple pictures, yes, take close-ups, all of that is great, but maybe also try capturing a lot of little videos of yourself just talking so that you're able to see exactly how different your teeth look, because that's where I personally notice it the most. Because obviously, if you are going through this process, you know, you do look at your teeth in the mirror every single day. And you also know that there are going to be changes. So you're like trying to spot them literally on a daily basis. But what that means is that if you're looking at them so much, it's hard for you to notice the differences sometimes. And I was really able to notice the differences seeing video of myself talking then and now. And I'll try and insert a little clip of like the first week of me having my Invisalign in versus me now. now, just so you're able to see exactly what kind of an impact your teeth have on the whole thing, because that's what surprised me the most. And yes, I was obviously expecting for my teeth to shift and move, but I don't know if I was necessarily expecting them to do such big shifts within only 5 months. And I also don't think I was expecting to notice physically such a drastic change, and I think that there is one. Now, the second thing that probably surprised me the most is the little amount of pain that I have been in for these past few months. Now, I have friends who have Invisalign. I also watched a lot of people talk about their experiences with Invisalign before getting my own. And so based on all of that, I sort of concluded that my experience would maybe be similar to theirs. And in some ways, it certainly has been. But in other ways, for example, pain-wise, I think I got off pretty scot-free, to be honest with you. Because the way I thought this was gonna happen is that I was gonna be in a lot of pain, especially in the beginning. Like first week, first month, I thought it was gonna be unbearable. Now, that is not to say that if you're embarking on this journey, that can't happen for you. I do know some people who have been in quite a bit of pain, but just because they have been, that doesn't mean that you will be as well, and vice versa. So a lot of different people have a lot of different experiences, and they're all true, and obviously they're all valid. But for me, I was expecting to be in a lot of pain, and I just simply wasn't at all. Honestly, if you go back and watch all the videos, that's what I say in pretty much every video, how much I am not in pain and how much I'm surprised that it really isn't impacting my life in a negative way at all. The only thing that I will say though is that it is a feeling that you sort of need to get used to. And in the beginning, especially when I started wearing my aligners, it sort of felt like a tight t-shirt, like wearing a tight t-shirt but on your teeth. So it wasn't painful per se, but it was a little uncomfortable. And then especially every time that I would switch to new aligners, so for example, if I was wearing aligner number 2 and I graduated to number 3, for the first day or two in the beginning especially, that was a little bit more uncomfortable, but it really wasn't painful. The only thing that I did to basically combat that was that for the first couple of days, I would take out my trays and just give them a little bit of a longer moment to just acclimate before I started eating. So in the beginning, and I do recall saying this, I used to have to take them out about 25 minutes before eating. So that's what I would do. And then obviously gradually I would take them out about 15 minutes before eating, and then it was 10, then it was 5. Now recently I've been taking them out like 2 seconds before starting my meal, and it's been completely fine. And I haven't been in pain at all, nor have I had much tooth sensitivity in the last few weeks, I would say. So recently it's been even better, but even in the beginning, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Now again, does that mean that you personally won't be in pain? No, I don't know. I'm obviously not a professional. I'm just telling you my experience and the fact that I thought this was gonna be the most painful thing ever, and it really honestly wasn't. And it wasn't a hindrance to my life in many ways at all. One thing that got kind of annoying is this next thing that I'm gonna talk about now. So we're going to segue into the fact that snacking is at an all-time low for me, girly pop. And one thing about me, I'm just like a little rat. I love to snack. Sometimes snacking and little treat means more to me than eating a full meal. Like there definitely are days where I prefer skipping dinner and moving right along to girl dinner, which as we all know is like peanut butter, a spoon of peanut butter, 3 grapes and 2 crackers, and that just, there's something about that that hits the spot. But okay, no more jokes for real this time. Before I started on this journey, I wasn't somebody who ate big meals. So I used to love a little breakfast, a light breakfast, and then a little snack before lunch, and then lunch, and then, you know, before dinner, a little snack. I used to love snacking like that. And unfortunately, at this point, it's just not something that's viable for me right now. And one of my friends, hi girl, you know who you are, she did tell me this because she got her aligners put in before I got mine. And so she did let me know that, you know, once you have them in, because it's a whole hassle that you have to do, it's this whole song and dance, you have to take them out, you have to wash and brush the aligners, and then you have to brush your teeth as well, and then you have to floss, and then put them back in. Because it's a whole hassle, you really don't feel the need to snack because it's just not worth it for so little payoff, you know what I mean? And now I will say, when she told me that, I said, me not snacking, this thing will not stop me from living out my dreams. But I hate to report that she was right. I really don't snack like that anymore. Because again, it's just not worth it having to take out the aligner and then snack on like 2 grapes and then having to go through this whole thing for 2 grapes. It's literally not worth it. Even though sometimes those 2 grapes would be the only thing mentally to like help me stay on track, it's just not worth it, girl. Because as it is, you're already like brushing your teeth and your aligners 3 times a day after every meal. And so if you wanted to snack, you would have to do it like 2 or 3 more times, but it's just not worth it for me to nibble on like a cracker for 5 seconds. I don't know if that makes sense, but trust me on this when I say I am the biggest snacker, and snacking at this point is at an all-time low. So that's sort of one thing food-wise that is kind of annoying, because I love the art of snack. By the way, did I just age myself there? Isn't this like the millennial heart? What's the Gen Z heart? Is it this, or have we moved on? I don't know, and it's not for me to know. Moving on. One more thing food-wise that has been kind of annoying, and I have, I believe, touched on this in previous videos, is just the fact that you can't have a fun drink when you have your aligners on. You're just not gonna take out your aligners every time you want a little fun drink. You're just gonna opt not to have the drink instead, because realistically, the only thing that you can have a drink of with your aligners in is water or a clear beverage. So you're good on like vodka, gin, and like maybe Sprite, but anything else you might want, it's a no-go with these in, because you will surely stain them. Now, I was lucky enough to be able to get away with sneaking little drinks here and there every so often, just because I change out my aligners every week. Every Monday night, I change them out. And so if we're like close to the weekend, I'm gonna say to myself, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have my little Coke Zero. It doesn't matter, because I am gonna change my trays in like 2 days. So even if they stain, I don't care, I'll live for like 2 days. But some of my friends do change their aligners out every 2 weeks. And so that's when it gets a little bit more difficult. And another thing that is really annoying, you can't really have hot beverages with these in. I mean, you definitely could, but you risk misshaping them. That's what I was told by my dentist and my orthodontists anyway. So at that point, I was like, I did not pay all this money to have a little sip of like hot chocolate or whatever, and then mess up the shape of my aligners, which in turn like messes up my whole thing that I have going on. So I just really didn't do that. And that's the only thing that was kind of annoying as well. But as I'm sure you can deduct from everything that I've told you, all of these things really are sort of first world problems. It's really not that big of a deal at all. Obviously, if you want to hear about my full symptoms and everything that I was going through, like on a weekly or monthly basis, again, you can check out my videos. But overall, it really wasn't that bad. And that's mostly what's shocking me right now in this moment. Now, I might get on here, and I give myself full permission to get on here on my second set of trays and like be in pain or be really annoyed or what have you, because I'm obviously still in this process. I'm not done, and things could still change. That is something that I have to realize. But overall, I feel like these first 5 months honestly passed by like a breeze. And so because of that, I'm really happy that I did get started on this journey. I'm happy that we are where we are right now, and I'm really excited to see how my teeth are gonna change by the end of this whole thing. And obviously I am very excited to keep you in the loop. This is not gonna be my last update at all. And this is also where I'd like to open up the comments for you if you have any specific questions for things that I maybe didn't touch on yet, or just in general, comment down below, ask me whatever you might want. But do please keep in mind that I am not a professional, I'm not a dental hygienist, I'm not like a dentist, I'm not an orthodontist, I'm very useless, and you shouldn't be taking advice from me. You should be taking advice from the proper professionals. However, I can let you know how my experience has been, and I'm happy to do that for you. But with that, we're at the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you are a snacking queen and a real girly, and I love you for that. But anyways, if you like this video, then please consider liking, subscribing, maybe even commenting, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.